So currently Victoria has 38 active cases, so this is 4 new cases. One of those is in hotel quarantine and 3 are in the community. All 3 cases are directly linked to the Black Rock cluster, which can give us some confidence that that we're still managing these outbreaks and the contact tracing, which is showing a direct link back to that particular cluster. Yesterday, 32,544 tests were undertaken. Again, an extraordinary effort by Victorians to now be in the 3rd day over 30,000, which is, a great effort given where we are and where we've been to see people come out in such force. I know that there continues to be some delays. That is now averaging around 60 to 90 minutes. Some places are lower, some are higher, so people should use the information on the website to look at what is going to best suit them to get tested. We've got 2 new sites that are commencing today. Firstly, one at Brighton Town Hall, which will be open between 9 and 5, and also at Monash Health and Bayside Community Partnership, which is apparently across the road from the Moorabbin DLO, which is open from 9 to 4. Again, thank you to all Victorians who are coming out. If I can encourage you to keep watch of those exposure sites. We've had some additional added this morning. I'm sure there'll probably be some added later this afternoon. If you're part listed or know you've been to one of those exposure sites at the times listed, or you have any symptoms as mild as possible, continue to go out and get tested. We've seen the numbers yesterday. Again, thank you to all those Victorians, but continue to monitor the exposure sites and make sure you're monitoring your symptoms and get tested even with the mildest of symptoms. I want to take the opportunity to thank all the teams that are involved in this. So at the moment, we have about 1,000 primary and secondary contacts that we're monitoring. So I want to thank the contact tracing teams. I want to thank the pathology teams. I want to thank healthcare workers, the people doing the testing, the public health team. This is an enormous effort that has been undertaken over the last few days, and such an important effort and making such a big difference. And given the time of the year that we're at, many of these interviews that are occurring in terms of identifying primary and secondary contacts are taking anywhere from 4 to 5 hours for each of those interviews, given the complexity and the number of sites that many people have visited during this Christmas period. In terms of hotel quarantine, all up since the 7th of December, we've had 5,354 people go through our hotel quarantine program. That figure includes both the mandatory quarantine, the health hotels, the complex care hotels, as well as our flight crew. And I want to make a particular point around this. During that whole time, we've had 27 positives in hotel quarantine. But since 2 weeks ago, in terms of our new system with flight crew, where we're requiring quarantining as well as testing, of that 27, 8 of those have been flight crew members. So 8 out of just over 1,000 flight crew who have flown in the last 2 weeks have been positive. This is over and above the averages that we are seeing in international return travellers. This was an incredibly important decision to make sure that we are quarantining flight crew and we are testing flight crew. Those odds are very high. In fact, I would be today saying to the other states, this is such a high risk for all of us, for the country. Everyone needs to follow the lead around quarantining and testing of flight crew. It is absolutely critical given the numbers that we are seeing. Any risk of this getting out, that was a major issue, and one of the issues I think that was identified through New South Wales a few weeks ago. So again, I'd encourage nationally and all the states to look at this. I know that the Acting Chief Health Officer, Alan Cheng, will be raising this issue and taking a paper to AHPPC about this issue, given the significant numbers and therefore the significant risks. We're fine in Victoria, but flight crew are coming in right across the country, a significant risk to all Australia. I'd also say in hotel quarantine we've now reached almost 30,000 tests of staff members. So again, the only state that's doing daily testing of each of its staff members, whether you're the bus driver, whether you're delivering the food, or whether you're an RSO or police officer, you are being daily tested in our program. And no positives that have been identified amongst those 30,000 tests. Finally, just to talk a little bit about the summer. So, on one hand, we've sort of had a mix of floods and we have had fires, and I'll go through that in a moment, and we've also had drownings. So we've had police out on our beaches doing their Summer Safe program, particularly on the hot days. So we've still got a lot of police doing public safety issue, where New Year's Eve was an example of that, whilst also having over 700 police up on our borders and about 800 police in our hotel quarantine program. So it's been a busy summer for our police, and I want to thank them for that. In terms of fires, it may surprise Victorians to know that in this financial year, 2021, we have already experienced over 3,500 grass and scrub fires. So our CFA, our FRV, our forest fire management staff have been kept very busy during this summer period, including in our outskirts of Melbourne, as well as in particularly the northwest of the state. There have been substantial numbers of grass and scrub fires, and parts of the state remain dry. This rain that we're seeing, we haven't seen much in the north in the last period of time. We've also seen 89 fires started by campfires. Again, leaving a campfire unattended, not only can you be fined, but you may ultimately be the cause of a significant fire through vegetation. So putting yourselves, others and firefighters at risk. So I'll just wait for the noise to stop there. So can I encourage, please do not leave your campfires unattended. We have Parks Victoria and Victoria Police members out there monitoring this. You don't want that fine, but you do not want to be a cause of a significant bushfire in this state.